guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing another book haul, and I have realized that I have absolutely no self-control. So what is new? Nothing. So to keep this video as short as possible, because I have a lot of books to get through, I'm trying to keep the synopsis short on each of these. And I believe out of all the books that I have only read one of them so far. So if I've already read it, the one book that I've read so far out of all these that I got, I will leave that review down below. I'll still show it, but I'll just leave the review down below in my description bar so that you can check that out, and we'll just keep it moving. So I will go ahead and start with the books that I have got from Book of the Month, and I've actually just signed up for that over this summer, and I signed up for it in June, and so I've only got July and August, and you would think that would only be 2 books, but with Book of the Month you are able to get your 1 book of the month, and then you can do 2 add-ons per month. And of course, so far I've been doing the add-ons for each month, so yeah. So we have quite a few books to go through for Book of the Month. So for July, my book of the month was Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. And I have a review for this. By the time you see this, it is already up. So I will link the review for that in my description bar. But I absolutely love this. I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend. If you are interested in that review, please check that out. Again, it will be linked in my description bar. The 2 add-ons that I had for the month of July are 2 books that I actually feel like people have either really liked or they have really not liked, which makes me nervous. And the first one is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I have not read any Riley Sager books. Funny enough, I have all of his books, but I have not read any of them yet. I was really excited about this one, and it seems like not a lot of people like it. The only thing that I know about this is that some girl decides to jump in the car one night with somebody that's titled as the campus killer, and she is trying to survive the night. But doesn't seem like a lot of people like this, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. So that's that. The next add-on that I had for the month of July is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And if you don't know, this is the author that wrote The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I'm blanking on the other book, Daisy Jones and the Six, I believe. And I just read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo this year, a few months ago, and this, I believe, is following one of the husbands in that book and the children, and something about a party, and it's told in dual timelines. That is all that I got. And again, this is one of those books I feel like people either really like it or they're just like, it was all right. So I'm not sure if I like it, but I got it. My next ones are my book of the month pick for August, and then 2 add-ons that I got. And that first one is Not a Happy Family by Shari, Lupina, and this is a thriller. And this apparently is about a rich family, and the parents are murdered, and I believe the children are suspected of being the murderers, and this story is trying to figure out which of the children are the murderers. So this was the actual pick for the month of August. And then I have 2 add-ons, and my first add-on was another thriller, and it is We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. So this is about 2 friends who end up backpacking, and one of them brings someone home and they end up murdered, which is a coincidence because the same thing happened the last time they went backpacking and someone ended up murdered. So one of the girls is trying to figure out, is this a coincidence or is something more sinister happening? So yep, got this. And then the other add-on that I have is a very popular book so far this summer, and that is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I have yet to read anything by Andy Weir. I have The Martian. I tried to listen to it on audiobook this summer. I could not listen to it on audiobook because I wasn't vibing with the audiobook, so I'm gonna have to read that physically, but I've heard nothing but good things about this. I think it's kind of similar to The Martian, where somebody gets lost in space or gets stuck in space. They lost their memory. The memory is slowly starting to come back, and they're trying to figure out why they were stuck in space. Story takes off from there, and pretty much what this is about. And I'm excited for this because I've heard nothing but good things about that. Now, the rest of these books are just random books that I have just been collecting throughout the summer. These next books are 3 books that I got in a long series, I think, and that is the first 3 books in the Wayward Children series by Sean McGuire. Yes, I'm very late to these. And the first one is Every Heart a Doorway. And then we have Down Among the Sticks and Bones. And then we have Beneath the Sugar Sky. And I've actually started reading Every Heart a Doorway. And these are about these children that are like going through these doorways that are taking them to these alternate like portals, these alternate worlds, and then they're coming back to the real world and trying to get settled back into the real world at this like boarding school that helps them try to reacclimate to the real world. And so far I'm like halfway through this first one and I am enjoying it so far. So, and I believe each book, I could be wrong, but I believe each book is about a different set of characters. So far, so good. The next book that I have is Blackout, and this is an anthology short story romance by a few different young adult authors. So we have Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, Nicola Yoon. And these are short stories, short romance stories. I believe that is set in New York City during a blackout. And I'm excited about this because these are, for the most part, all authors that I have read stories from. And I've, again, heard nothing but good things about this. So excited for this one. The next one I have is The Taking of Jake Livingston by, I believe this is a debut author, Ryan Douglas. And I want to say this is like compared to Get Out. And this has something to do with like a haunting at a school with like a school shooter. I'm not exactly sure, but I've heard good things about this one too, and it's fairly short. And this is, I think, something that I want to read more towards like the fall season, but I'm really excited about this. Like, I'm intrigued, and I really like the cover of this one, so I'm excited for this. The next one that I have that I'm really excited about is The Final Girls Support Group by Grady Hendrix, because I have been blowing through Grady Hendrix work this year. I have read, I believe, all of his major published stuff so far, and this is like the last one that I have to get through. And again, this is like one of the ones that I've heard a lot of mixed things about. People either really like it or they really don't. But I think this has something to do with obviously a final girl support group, and then the final girls are starting to die. So I'm here for this, and I'm really going to be getting to this sooner rather than later, but I am really excited to get to this because I am excited to have read a majority of his work. Then the next one I have is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, which I have kind of been seeing circling around, and I love this like simple cover. And all I know about this one is it has to do with like these 6 students that are trying to get into like this magician school, I believe. And it's 6 of them trying to compete. Only 5 of them will actually get in. 1 will be eliminated, but I don't know if they're gonna get like killed or like what that actually means. But I believe this is adult. But I'm like really intrigued by this. If you guys don't know, I believe I heard Piera from Piera 4 talk about this, and she raved about this book. So that is actually who made me pick this up. So I am excited about this one. The next one that I have is Finlay Donovan is Killing It, and that is by El Casimano, if I'm saying that correctly. And this one sounds like it's kind of going to be funny. And all I know about this is a woman that is about to get a divorce, is somewhere out to eat, and she is overheard talking to someone, and in that conversation she is having with someone overhears her and thinks that she is a hit woman, and tries to hire her to kill someone, and Finlay actually agrees to the job. And that sounds great. And I actually heard this is going to be the start of a series. Again, this is one of those stories that I heard nothing but good things about, and definitely want to get to this soon. So the next few books that I have are all adult sci-fi fantasy books, and yeah, so we'll go ahead and start with this one, and this is Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. And I believe this says this is the complete trilogy in this one bind up. I believe these were like 3 separate novellas, but I was able to find it all in one. And this is like a stunning, beautiful cover. I love that. And I've not read anything from this author yet. I do have her other novella called Remote Control. I know a lot of people have read Binti and has loved it. The only thing that I know about this is I believe it is about our main character Binti, who is left alone on the spaceship, and she is trying to survive, and she is left with the things, these creatures that has killed the crew on the spaceship, and she was trying to survive. I think I have that correct. And again, I heard nothing but good things about it, so I'm excited to get into this author's work. So we'll see how I like that. The next thing that I have, and there's not really much on here in regards to what it's about, but it is called Goldilocks by Laura Lamb. And on the front it says, for these women, Earth is no longer in the habitable zone. And apparently it just seems like it's this female mission to space, and someone that is on this mission to space with them has some sort of secret. That's fun. So we'll see what this is about. I don't read a lot of sci-fi. That's a genre that I'm trying to get into. So this just looked good. So I'm going to try this one out. The next one that I have is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. Octavia Butler is one of those authors that I'm also trying to get into. I have another one of her books, Kindred, which I read years ago, which I want to reread. But this is another book that I've had people recommend to me that I should read. I've listened to people review and they said that they loved, but I don't know much about it. I just know that this was a good place to start, so I went ahead and picked this up. This next book is Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, and I'm not even going to try to describe what this is because I can't. Even when I read the back, I can't even say what it's about. But I'm sure if you've heard of this book, you probably heard about it from Elliot Brooks. She raves not only about this book, but the trilogy as a whole. And I get a lot of my recommendations from her. And I went ahead and ordered this book, and I hope it is a really good book because she does nothing but talk about this. So I had to jump on the hype train with this one, and I hope I enjoy it because most of the things that I read based off of her recommendations, I absolutely love. So I'm sure I will love this one as well. The next one I have is Sunlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft, which is another popular book that circulates booktube, and I believe this is about our main character by the name Thomas Sunlin, and him and his wife, I believe, are on their honeymoon, and they travel to the Tower of Babel. And in this tower, I think like each floor like does something different, or it is something different. Anywho, he loses his wife in this tower, and I believe the whole book is him trying to locate his wife. I heard it was good. I believe this is going to be, or is, a 4-book series, and this is book number 1. So I went ahead and picked this one up. And then the next one that I have is The Black-Tongued Thief by Christopher Buellman. And all I know about this is about a character who I believe gets into some trouble trying to pay back some debt, and the story kind of takes off from there. This was more of like a cover buy when I was in Half Price Books. The price was good, it looked really pretty, so I went ahead and picked this up. And I actually thought I heard Patrick talking about this, and that also made me want to pick this up, so I did. And then I have City of Lies by Sam Hawke, and this, all I know, is the first book in the Poison War series. So there's a brother and sister who are trying to protect the heir, and when the chancellor, who is the one that is testing the poisons, dies, the brother and sister are then tasked with trying to figure out who actually poisoned the chancellor. And I heard this was pretty good, so I went ahead and picked this up. And we only have a few more books to go. So then I have a couple of romances, and I don't read a lot of romance books, as you can see. None of these were romance at all. I don't think any of these have any romance in them. For some reason, I don't care if books have romance in them, but I'm just not a romance reader. But a couple of these I heard were really good. And the first one I have is Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation. And the only thing I know about this is we have 2 friends that go on vacation, or have been going on vacation together for a while, and for some reason they stopped, and then they go back on them together again. Sure. That's all that I know about this one, but I know she had a really popular one last year, I think, Beach Read. So, but this one is the one that sounded most interesting to me, so I went ahead and picked this one up. And then the next one that I have is The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I think I only read one other Christina Lauren book that I really liked, so I went ahead and picked this one up. This has something to do with like a DNA matching company that has to do with like dating, and then she falls in love with the founder of this like system thing, and then like the story takes off from there. I heard it was really cute, so that's why I went ahead and picked this one up. Then the last one that I have, the one that I am most excited about, is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielski. And I don't really know what this is about. I've heard people talk about this one. I've heard people analyze this book. I'm kind of nervous and hesitant to read this. I know that it has something to do. I know it's a horror, it's supposed to be horror. I know that it's told from like different perspectives maybe, and that it has something to do with someone living in a house that's like bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And then it's told in like really weird formats. So then you like get pages that look like this. And you get like really weird like footnotes, and then you get stuff that like reads like this. And then you get like pages like this. And then stuff like this, that's crazy. So I'm here for this, for like weird stuff like this. Yeah, so I'm definitely planning on reading this or trying to make my way through this fall and see where I fall into this, because I like the stuff that just is like weird and crazy and out there and that makes me have to put on my thinking cap. So I'm like excited about this one. So that is all that I have for you guys today. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.